All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome into your Valley News Now digital update. I'm Devin Fry. However you may be joining us, whether it is on your smart TV, on your computer, or on your phone, thank you so much for making some time for us. We're not going to waste any time today. As you can see on the little bug we have in the corner here, 8 degrees out there. And of course, if you have been able to leave the house today, you know how bad it is out there. Now, one member of our team drew the short straw, and she's out in these conditions right now to give us the very latest on what it looks like out in the elements. Jess Bringy joining us from Moorhead. Jess, go ahead, take it away.
Well, what it looks like, Devin, out in the elements is this pure misery right now. It is freezing. You said it's 8 degrees. I mean, it is miserable. You can't take your gloves off for 2 minutes without it hurting. We've got snow blowing, significant snow, if we can take a look at that. I mean, it is just whiteout conditions like we were talking about in certain areas here in the Moorhead area. I-94, there are patches that are quite bad. As you can see, significant wind, and this isn't even as bad as it's been. I was out here with Sydney setting up, and it was worse, if you can believe it. How does it get worse than this? It can, and it will. But definitely over here, closer, you can see some cars coming along towards the highway. It is really quite bad. Sydney, if you don't mind maybe zooming in a little bit so we can just kind of see further out to those whiteout conditions. But as mentioned, I mean, I-94 and Dilworth, the weather station is reporting high winds in that area. You can clearly see that's pretty much where we are right now. Visibility is at 0.78, and it says light snow, but it's not feeling very light. I mean, I suppose it's airy, but it stings. It definitely stings. I also want to mention that on US 75, there are normal driving conditions. So while it's really bad in certain areas, if you are looking to get out, maybe do so right now, because there are clear patches along the roadway. When we were driving here in the south of Moorhead along I-94, there were certain areas really blustery, but overall not too bad. It's just these really wide open areas that are painful. But Devin, I am going to go in the car, get a little warm, and send it back to you in the studio.
That was very brave, Jess. Great work. Thank you so much, Jess. We appreciate you. Sorry for making you go out there. Next time it'll be me, I promise. We're going to go ahead and take a look over at North Dakota side of things now. Of course, Jessica mentioned what's happening in Minnesota. We're just going to, again, just take a brief look before we take a deeper dive. Normally, this is all green. This is all great. Now the green is right up here in the central part of the state. The rest of it, not looking great. We're going to go over what all of these colors and codes mean a little bit later on in this segment, so be sure to stay tuned. But for now, let's get on to, let's hear from our First Alert weather team now, as they told you about these conditions, that they were coming. They've been warning us about it for quite some time. And once again, our First Alert weather team right on the money. Now let's go to Summer Schnellbach, our First Alert storm team meteorologist, for a little bit more about what we can expect with these conditions.
I'm meteorologist Summer Schnellbach, and the weather remains rough the next couple of days. Some intermittent snow showers, widespread blowing snow, especially out in open areas. That all continues tonight. Hazardous travel remains in place as well. We'll be talking about road conditions coming up this evening, but we're not done yet. Tomorrow is another First Alert weather day. Bitter cold wind chills in the morning, widespread 30s to near 40 below zero in parts of the Northern Valley. There's a cold weather advisory now in effect. And I should mention that our winter weather advisory for today has been extended into tomorrow morning because of the blowing snow that will be continuing even once the falling snow stops. Then Saturday night, our next weather maker moves in, bringing some more snow. That is into Sunday morning, a couple more inches possible. And then on Sunday, there is a winter storm watch within the Red River Valley for another round of blowing snow. Winds could gust out of the north-northwest 40 to 50 miles per hour, leading to the potential for some blizzard conditions and more hazardous travel on Sunday. Next week, the talk is about the cold. even colder for next weekend. So there's a lot that you'll want to tune in for tonight on Valley News Live.
Thank you so much for that, Summer. We're going to keep monitoring it. Let's take a look at what the conditions that we saw this morning. It's obviously gotten a little bit lighter throughout the day. Of course, that wind's still an issue, a lot of blowing snow. But let's pull this up. This was a look this morning at some of the visibility or lack thereof that we experience on the roadways. Blowing snow, obviously creating dangerous driving conditions near Moorhead this morning. Multiple vehicles reportedly slid off Highway 336 east of Moorhead around 7 a.m. Minnesota State Patrol says near zero visibility made travel hazardous in some areas. So as we get into tonight, let's just be aware of this blowing snow factor. It's going to be a factor all throughout the night. Make sure you have your First Alert Storm Team app handy, and they will keep you posted on the latest there. We'll, of course, have you covered on the broadcast end of things and here on Valley News Now as well. Some of the stories we've been working on in the Valley News Live newsroom. This one coming to us this morning. A Fargo man is now in custody after a SWAT team served a search warrant early this morning. The Red River Valley SWAT team executed the warrant around 6 a.m. in the 100 block of 6th Avenue North. Officers arrested 33-year-old Fabian Contreras on a Cass County warrant for failure to appear related to possession of drug paraphernalia. The investigation connected to the search warrant is still ongoing. We have more details on this and his mugshot available on valleynewslive.com right now. Some fairly breaking news. This came in within the last hour here. A Fargo couple learned their fate today after their 3-month-old baby died in what officials called a filthy apartment last summer. This is video from this court hearing today. Allie and Nicholas Shearer each entered guilty pleas, with one count of child neglect being deemed a misdemeanor and the other 2 counts of neglect being dropped, meaning this case closes as a misdemeanor. Both were sentenced to 18 months supervised probation. They were also sentenced to 360 days in jail, with 358 of those days being suspended, and then they were given credit for 2 days time served as well. The couple's baby died in July 2024 after being found unresponsive in an apartment that officials say was filled with garbage and rotten food. One of their children also tested positive for methamphetamine. More court filings this morning. Let's look at this one. A Thief River Falls man is charged with electronic solicitation of a minor. Eric Hartung allegedly messaged an undercover deputy posing as a 15-year-old girl on social media. Court documents say Hartung asked the girl to meet up to, quote, hook up. Investigators tracked Hartung's movements and arrested him at the meeting location. He faces up to 3 years in jail and or a $5,000 fine. Meanwhile, over here in North Dakota, a Rogers man faces felony charges after allegedly choking and sexually assaulting a woman back in November. Mark Knight, 57 years old, is charged with gross sexual imposition and gross sexual imposition causing serious bodily injury. The woman told investigators that Knight pinned her down by the throat while assaulting her at his home. She said she feared that she would die. Knight denied that any violence occurred that night. He's currently in custody at the Barnes County Jail, made an appearance in court this morning. The search for a missing West Fargo woman has now expanded to Otter Tail County. This is the search for this woman, Isadora Wright. It's now expanded to Otter Tail County. Again, this news came out last night, but I do think it's important to just kind of keep people informed on this one here. Investigators say investigators want property owners to check surveillance cameras, doorbell cameras, and trail cameras from January 7th between 2 a.m. and 5:30 a.m. Wengel is 7'3", 175 pounds with blonde hair and hazel eyes. Anyone with footage or information should contact the Otter Tail County Sheriff's Office. There is a map of where to look for. That's what I was looking for to pull up. There's a map that shows where in Otter Tail County property owners should check if they're in that area, but I don't seem to have that available right now, but we do have the picture up. You could find that map on our website right now at valleynewslive.com. Just go ahead to be sure to tune in there. Becker County Sheriff Todd Glander announced today that he will not be seeking re-election. Glander has served in law enforcement for 38 years and 3 terms as sheriff. He was first elected sheriff in 2014 and then re-elected in 2018 and in 2022. Glander is set to continue serving his term until it ends next January. And before we get out of here today, a story that hits pretty close to home for me. We're going to talk about myself a little bit here. My sick kid finally able to get back to school today after being sick. That hasn't been the case for a lot of kids out there. Area daycares are reporting a high number of flu cases, some even having to close entire classrooms for days at a time. Valley News Now's Duke Schindler caught up with Anna Ballweber, who talked to workers at an area daycare today and is going to be bringing us more at 6. For more on what we can expect for this story, here is Anna and Duke.
Joined by Anna Ballweber, who's got a big story coming up tonight at 6 about childcare and flu cases coming up and about in those childcare systems. So Anna, kind of break it down. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, so I know last week, I think Sydney, another one of our reporters, she did a story on how flu numbers, specifically influenza A flu numbers around here, they're on the rise. There's a big surge. In Cass County, they reported a 47% spike in statewide influenza cases, and that was in a 7-day span. So I wanted to talk to some local, daycare providers. My sister actually just had a baby down in Minneapolis. She went back to work. Her baby made it one day at daycare when she had a 102 fever, and she had to pick her up. So that kind of piqued my interest in this. So I talked to some local daycares, and they said, this year, even last year, they had to close some operations sometimes because the illness is spread from kid to kid and then teacher to teacher. So they had to close at one point.
And then did you talk to them anytime about what it really takes to shut down some of these care centers and what's going to be kind of the bone that breaks the camel's back to shut them down?
They've got a few different classrooms going on there. It's fundamentals in Fargo. So depending on the class size, you've got one teacher, two teachers, but if all three teachers are sick, that's what it takes to shut it down.
And then where do a lot of parents have to go from there? Because I'm assuming when they hear that news, it's pretty abrupt.
Yeah. So they said they do send kids home. If they have a 101 fever, they got to get picked up. And that was a big message that the director had was, we know how hard it is for parents to have to come pick up the kids, but it's all about safety. They want to, prevent as much as they can. So you got to pick them up. And their best advice was, it starts at home. If you're able to prevent, illnesses by cleaning or doing whatever you can, if you have a sibling that's sick, don't even try sending them to daycare because they're just going to be sent home.
Sent home and get more kids sick.
Exactly.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, Anna. You can catch her story tonight coming up on 6 at Valley News Live.
Thank you very much, Duke and Anna. We look forward to that one. Like I said, I've been personally affected by this one. I know how fun it is out there for kids in daycares right now as these flu outbreaks continue. But Anna will have us covered tonight. Let's take a look at the road maps now. Normally, this is the part of the show where we tease other stuff coming up tonight, but the stuff coming up tonight is mostly related to weather coverage. So we're going to take a look right now at what officials are saying on the travel maps here. Again, the majority of this map of our viewing area, it's going to be scattered snow drifts and some snow-covered roads. That's the main deal in the metro right now is these snow-covered roads as that blowing snow continues from the high wind. As you can see, though, look at I-29 all the way up from Fargo to Buxton there. Green there. That's pretty rare. I'm curious about that. As we head more out west here around Jamestown, some scattered ice on the roads as well. But yeah, the whole state doing some color coding here, even looking at the very, very north areas of our viewing area. No travel advised around the Cavalier area up here in the top part of the state. So be sure to, for our viewers up there, go ahead and watch out for that. Let's take a look over in Minnesota now. We'll go ahead and move this out of the way. But yeah, let's take a look right now. Even you could see the snow-covered roads. And again, we saw a live report from Jessica Bringy out there. Look at this. The blowing snow creates quite a situation, and the wind is intense out there. We had Jessica stand outside for us for a good few minutes, and I felt very bad about it. But she gave a great report, and that's what really matters. She'll be happy with the content. Trust me on that one. Jessica and Sydney are going to be outside in the elements tonight in pretty much all of our shows coming up here at 4, 5, and 6. We're about 7 minutes away from our 4 o'clock show, so be sure to tune into that one. But that's going to do it for now for my Valley News Now digital update. We're going to have you covered here at the same time starting again on Monday. These have been really fun. These afternoon updates has been a really fun way to get more of our team involved and to get the news to you first, where you'll see it first on your phone. or your computer or your smart TV, wherever you may be watching it. We've got you covered. We'll see you guys on Monday, but for now, for your Valley News Now digital update, I'm Devin Fry.